Thanks so much, Chris. I am sitting next to Alex Schiffer, the NBA beat writer for the Nets, for The Athletic. And Alex, you're someone who has been through it all, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, but we're at game number 81, and we need time to reflect on the season that was. So I'm going to go all the way back to Media Day. When you walked into Media Day for this Brooklyn Nets team, and going into it, you had Steve Nash that was coaching this group. You had some conversations about potential trade requests. What was your overall first expectation of what you're walking into?
That's a good question. I mean, that feels like a lifetime ago, right? Kevin Durant had to explain his trade request. Kyrie had to explain his sign and trade. I mean, I guess you could look at it back as foreshadowing, right? You know, both of them are gone now, and both of them are talking about potential exits. So I guess that's kind of how it aged, right?
It did, and now you see Jock Vaughn as being taking over for this team, and through all the drama that has happened, especially early on, when you had the drama going in and then you had the drama during, what was just your overall reaction to how you're processing it?
I mean, I think what Jock's done is kind of shown that he had a really strong case to get the original job before Steve Nash out of the bubble, right? You know, as you said, they started out 1-5, then he got it back under control. They had the 12-1 December before things really hit the fan. Yes, it's a family network. I'll watch my language. And, you know, he still has them in shape going into tonight for a top 6 seed, right? So I think he's done a lot of good since taking over in a crazy situation.
Yeah, and speaking of crazy situation, you talked about what they were able to do, going on that winning streak. And then when you think this team might have it all together, but when February came, before the trades happened, how surprised and shocked were you when you found out that Kyrie Irving had requested a trade request?
You said I've been through it all, so if I said I was surprised, then it means I learned nothing from everything else, right? So I was surprised, but also kind of nodded and got doing my job. I mean, you look at how wide open the league is right now. Still, I think it's still a hypothetical of what happened if nobody left. But then you look at this team now and some of the building blocks they have going forward. Maybe they'll have a longer runway than that first group had. So kind of contextualizing it all, or trying to.
So now February comes, right? And then you have new players coming in, and a familiar face in Spencer Dinwiddie. I know you know him very well. This organization knows him very well. But then you have some new pieces in Dorian Finney-Smith, Cam Johnson, and then Mikal Bridges. When you saw those names and what this season could be, did you think that this was going to be a team that was going to be fighting for a 6-seed playoff spot?
Yeah, I think expectations were kind of on hold at that point, given it took a while for all the dust to settle from all that. But, you know, Dorian Finney-Smith was a guy the Nets had talked about, you know, would be a great fit alongside Kevin and Kyrie for a long time. So I thought he was a good pickup regardless. I don't think anyone saw what Mikal Bridges had coming, and you see Cam Johnson getting in a good groove. So I think it was kind of a team full of role players, but someone had to emerge amongst them, and you've seen Mikal do that, and to an extent lately, Cam as well.
And you mentioned a guy like Mikal and then Spencer. Spencer and the assist numbers have been absolutely amazing. From someone who saw his game a couple years ago to seeing it now, how have you seen his game evolve?
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was the unsung hero a little bit in that first season for me covering the team, 2019-20. You know, Kyrie got hurt. He kept them afloat, and I feel like he's done a similar job here where they haven't had a lot of time to gel. There's a lot of moving pieces. His last full year in Brooklyn before the ACL, and now this year having some limited history with Dorian before and some of these other guys. He's tried to make it work as best he can, and it'll be interesting to see what he can do with a full season with these guys after the off-season.
All right, so you said full season, and we're not gonna get that, but we have 2 more games left, and as we've mentioned before, they're fighting for this 6th-seed spot. They could clinch tonight. What do you make of how this team has come together? New pieces, old pieces coming, and now making a name for himself and finding that identity.
Yeah, I think it's been a little up and down since the trade, which is expected, right? It's only been 20-something games they've been together, so I think, you know, that you've seen the winning streaks, the losing streaks, that all kind of makes sense. I'm kind of curious to see if this goes into Sunday and they have to worry about clinching, or can they hold off Orlando tonight. But, you know, lately I think they've gotten into a good groove, and, you know, Orlando doesn't have as much to play for as the Nets tonight, so hopefully that is a factor. I don't want to spend Easter Sunday worrying about the playoff seeding.
I don't either. All right, thank you so much, Alex. We appreciate the time recapping the season that was, and we'll see what happened and how it all plays out.